Maritime Made is presented by Nova Scotia Business Inc., helping businesses across the province grow through export. For more information, novascotiabusiness.com.
Sailmaking relies on teamwork, quality craftsmanship, and precision. This busy Sailloft has a team of 7 members making sails for boats all over North America. In fact, the sails for the iconic Blue Nose 2 schooner were proudly made in this loft. Michele Stevens is a 4th-generation sailmaker in the Stevens family, making sails in the original loft where her great-grandfather, Randolph Stevens, made sails in the 1920s. Each sail is first designed on paper. The sailmaker then takes those measurements and begins to lay out the sail on the floor. There's a good reason sails are made in lofts, and that's because large sails need lots of room. Once the sail has been measured out on the floor, nails are hammered at each of the 3 corners, and a string line is laid out to outline the sail. Each sail is made from a variety of panels rather than a single piece of cloth. To ensure the first panel is square and positioned correctly, the sailmaker measures the starting point for the first seam line with a giant square. This sail is being made out of Dacron polyester. The fabric is laid out for the first panel of the sail and runs perpendicular to the longest edge of a sail, called the leech. Once the panel is laid out to the correct length, it's pinned to the floor, marked, and cut. Roughly 5 extra inches are added to outside edges to ensure there is enough material in the finished sail. The seams are then marked. Sails are built like the wings of an airplane and have a subtle curve or camber. Each panel seam is carefully marked and measured so that the sail will have the desired shape. Calipers help with these precise measurements. As each panel is measured, laid out, and cut, the sail begins to take shape. This sail is the jib, or front sail, for a 45-foot cruising sailboat. Each panel overlaps the next, allowing for a generous amount of material for sewing the seams. Once all the panels have been laid out and pinned to the floor, the seams are hand-marked to ensure precision when they're later taped and stitched together. Next, a long, flexible metal batten is used to mark where the maximum camber position of the sail is. The maximum camber position is the deepest part of the sail when filled with wind. This will allow the sailmaker to measure and mark the curve of each panel later. All the pins are now removed, and each sail panel is carefully stacked, ready for the next step. Now the work moves to a large tabletop, where a flexible metal batten is laid onto each panel, flexed to the desired curved shape, and pinned in place. The sailmaker then marks along the batten using a pencil. This line is where the next panel will be lined up in order to create a better camber in the sail. The sailmaker measures 3 foot seams in the foot or lowest panel of the sail. A smaller batten is then used to mark the desired curve in these seams and is pinned in place. The seams are then cut. All cut edges of fabric are carefully heat-sealed to prevent fraying. These panels are then put back together with double-sided tape, ensuring they provide the required curve or camber. They are then stitched back together. Once the foot panel is ready, each sail panel is carefully aligned with the next, ensuring the correct camber. The panels are then taped together using double-sided tape. The sailmaker is careful to ensure the tension is consistent along the panels and lines up the markings precisely, while making sure there are no air bubbles in the seam. Now, with all the panels in place, the sail is ready for stitching. Each panel is stitched securely to the next until the basic sail is in one piece. Next, the edges are usually folded, sewn, and taped to protect and strengthen the finished edges, depending on the sail. Dacron tape is measured, then folded. Double-sided tape is added carefully along the edge. It is then carefully stuck to the edge of the sail. A line of rope is added to further strengthen the edge. The seam is folded and tacked in place with staples. The edge is stitched securely in a zigzag pattern, and the staples are removed. Sails have different features depending upon the particular sail. At this stage, the different features are sewn together, then stitched onto the sail. Sails require a lot of strength on a windy day. Reinforcing pieces like corner pockets are made by measuring and tracing a pattern on plastic, then tracing that pattern onto sail fabric. The pieces are then cut, taped, and sewn together to create a strong, reinforced corner. The corners are then stitched onto the sail. Reinforcing material is sewn into key places on the sail to ensure protection from wear and tear. Additional pieces are made to reinforce the head of the sail, any grommets or pressed rings that are required, as well as batten pockets that are used in some sails. A variety of hardware such as grommets, sliders, and pressed rings are added in the final stage. These are essential working parts of the sail. Grommets are used to secure the sail to the boat, and sliders are used for slotting the sail into the mast of the boat. Before shipping, each sail goes through a final quality check, sometimes by the customer, and is then flaked or folded and ready for use.